Okay, speaking of which. Oh, is that gorgeous? Is that gorgeous or what?
Oh, yeah.
My 12-year-old granddaughter, she wants to do everything.
That's good. How old is it?
Yes.
It's a
You
girl.
would
That's why.
like, was it the boys and girls? Okay, see, that color goes with that color.
Switch.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to because it's new.
Well, mine is.
I had $20 for cash, coal cash.
Yeah. Parks, they had a silent auction at Parks, and I just kept, I wanted it. I don't know who brought it, but I would like them to buy me purses.
Yeah, that was my only, that's my only
Because
thought.
I love.
Well, we have to.
See, so sometimes you can't afford mine, how much I save here.
Well, we got the boss. That's okay, works for me. Well, I think I got it figured out how to do it the way he does it, but I'm not into digging anymore. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I forgot about her. I'll explain.
Well, why don't we get started? Two things before we start. The date on the agenda is wrong. It should say 14 July. And the other thing is, on the back of the agenda, you'll notice that three of us have a Board of Elections meeting immediately following this meeting. That'll take all of about 2 minutes, but you're welcome to stay if you'd like. So now I'll call the meeting to order. If everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And whenever you're ready, Carol, roll call.
Bridges.
Here.
Carey.
Here.
Tobin.
Here.
Zimmerman.
Here.
Majeski here.
Okay, we have one set of minutes from last month. Does anybody have any questions or corrections regarding the minutes from the June 9th meeting? Hearing none, those minutes will be approved as presented. Maggie, are you ready with the treasurer's
The
report?
treasurer's report is on the back table for anyone who loves numbers the way I do. It is representing the full year, as our fiscal year starts July 1st. So this is full year's activity for income and disbursements. The general fund will change during the audit because of year-end entries that are made at that time. But we're looking healthy, happy. And the audit is taking place next month. It's a little bit earlier this year. We'll have the adjusting entries done at that point. Tax bills went out July 1st and the money is coming in. Again, this money doesn't come to the township, it goes to the state and the county, but it's still coming in.
Any questions about the treasurer's report? Okay, hearing none, the treasurer's report will be accepted as presented. Pay the monthly bills. Can I have a roll call vote?
Majeski, yes. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Bridges.
Yes.
Tobin.
Yeah.
Carey.
Yes?
Correspondence. I have no pertinent correspondence tonight that isn't already covered somewhere else in the agenda, so we'll jump right into yes. Dale, Lynn, whichever of you would like
Good evening. We at the county had the DHS director, Mike Smock, and Steve Borgard, we're in to request more funding. The child care fund is in need of $45,000 more, and there are 62 children in foster care, and they are in need of foster families. In Clare County, there is such a need that a lot of them have to be sent out and sent to other counties. So it's a kind of a double whammy when the child has to be taken out of the home, then they're taken out of their environment altogether, go to another county or to some other place. So if you know of anyone that might be interested, I know the DHS is always interested in having people apply. And I think that they have, there's different requests that you can do with the DHS for the children, that you can request if there's only like short-term or whatever, and their age. We held the public hearing on the 2014 summer property tax, and I think that Dale's going to go over that, so we're just going to do budget, you can do that. Okay, and we held the public hearing with it so that we could spread the general operating tax mills of 4.7072. So the goal is to, that started on July 1st, which if you already are getting the stuff in. So, but we held a public hearing on it so that we could have it higher mills for it. Linda Kaufman was in, she's executive director for the mental health, and they gave an update on their annual plan that they do for Clare County. And they also stated, Craig Dorr was in, he's program director, and he's housed in Clare County, and that they're going to build a new building in Clare County, and it's going to be behind their site, the place that they are presently. So they have a facilities board, and that was okay through them. And they hope to be in that building by next spring. And it will be just like a driveway between them and the new public health building, the new dental clinic, and the Mid-Michigan Health Center. And their hope, we will be in there not till the end of December, 1st of January. The medical center is going to move into the new building for the public health first, and the reason they are is that once they're moved in, they're going to tear down the old building and do the parking lot, and they're hoping that if they move in October, around the 1st of October, they'll be able to do that and be able to have a new parking lot in place for when the public health and the medical or the dental office goes in. So we're not going to go into a little later. So they'll still be in the courthouse for a while till the end of the year. Also, Mid-Michigan Community Action Agency has hired a new financial director. Michelle Johnson was hired and is on board, and the reason is Deb Hoyt, who had been our financial officer, retired after 30 years of service to the Community Action Agency. So she's going to be greatly missed. But she's going to be doing things here in Clare County. She has a heart for doing a lot of personal things with people, so that's okay. But she's done on that. And I know that Dave Coroner of Noresco appeared before the board, and because there was legislation passed in 1984 to improve facilities through energy-saving improvements to the building, and the savings that you derive by doing those are what pays for the improvements to your building. And we're still kind of a split board on it, so it will probably come up at one of the other meetings on it, on whether we proceed with it or not. But our building has to be updated somehow, and the dollars, we just don't have them to be able to do this, so we're still checking it out. So that's all I have. If any questions, Dale will answer them.
Thank you. Any questions or anything, Dale?
Good evening, everyone. Just an update. Last month I told you we were headed into the budgeting process for the county. We are in the thick of it right now. Looking at the wish list that all the departments had given us in that, and it's quite a list. Just some preliminary numbers that we're seeing that Tracy had given us, our administrator. It looks like we're down quite a bit in revenue, so we're going to have to look at the list really close and tight. We may have to look elsewhere too for some savings in that, but what it looks like at the beginning of the process here, looks like we might be looking at eliminating some things or some process. Hopefully we don't have to, but as the numbers get more firm and we get into the process further, we will act accordingly, I guess. So the balanced budget. Just another thing I wanted to update everyone on was the Veterans Memorial Park. Renee Haley, which is actually the administrator of that program, and the Veterans Affairs Office, and I might know an office of one, is doing a great job. She just got a $25,000 grant from the Charles J. Stodecker Foundation. Is that how you pronounce that, Lynn?
No, that's okay.
Close enough? Out of Midland, anyway, so
Go
that...
Stacker.
Strostacker, okay. That puts her at 50% of the funding that she needs right now to complete that grant. So it's going really well. TransCanada, just some of the people that did donate. TransCanada did $9,000. Roland M. Gerstacker Foundation had $25,000. Herbert Grace Dow Foundation was $25,000. Clare County Community Foundation was $10,000. Consumers Energy donated $2,500, and then the last $25,000. So that puts her at $200,000. She's 50% there. So I can't tell you what great job she does. For a one-person department, she works hard for what she gets. That's for sure. So yes. Any questions?
Any questions for our county commissioners? All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's campaign time. I see Jerry walked in. Did you want to give a couple minutes?
No, not tonight.
All right.
I kind of wonder why. I was at a meeting already.
Oh, Dale,
Still
do you want to say
says
anything
7:30.
about campaigning?
No, I am running for re-election again, just to let everyone know, if you haven't seen a few of my signs I put out already. So as we get into the thick of the election process, I will do a little bit more spiel, but just to let you know, I am running.
Okay. Come to our first public comment period. Does anybody have any public comment? Oh, did you want to say anything?
No, I'm fine. I'm
Guys,
good.
nobody's running again?
No, I am.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
I have competition.
Oh, okay.
Dale and I are the only two with competition this year, so
All right.
We decided it's because Lincoln Township is so cool, everybody wants to
there
represent
you
us.
go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so first public comment period. Okay, we'll move right on then into committee reports. Dale, you want to talk about the fire department?
Oh. I just sat down. Our last training session, we did a joint hazmat training session with Mount Pleasant Fire. Excellent training session. We had all the guys there going through decon and what we would do in that situation, how we would help out Mount Pleasant Fire when they had a situation over here. So that would be our basic role in a hazmat situation, is basically decon for the technicians that come over from Mount Pleasant. So that training session went really well. As far as runs, we've got 17 rescue this last month, 1 fire, 2 power lines, and 205 year-to-date. That's it.
Okay, parks, Carol. We got the beach sand in, all
Got the beach
installed.
sand in, yep.
Okay. Cemeteries, Mike?
Nope, nothing.
Planning commission?
Planning Commission, the meeting is tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and we do have a few items that we're working on that we're pretty close to presenting to the board. Basically, they're language changes, but we want to get them all together because we have to have a public meeting on them, so we could do it all at one time. There may be as many as 4. But anyways, other than that, we're working on it. Is there anything I can add? Roger?
Well, we already had a public meeting. After this, I think we won't need another one.
Well, the dog thing we gotta do, don't we?
We had that thing about that one
But didn't we, we're gonna change the language on something.
setback.
Well, what was the other one you said, the other one?
The
It
other
was
one
already
zoning,
done. That was
the
ZBA.
ZBA, but that will be approved public meeting.
Okay, all right.
That one had been handled already to minutes.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Sheriff's report. Had 332 incidents reported for the month of June. I'll buzz through them real quick. Had 1 accident with fire, 15 ambulance and rescue, 5 animal control complaints, 2 be on the lookout, 3 burglary with forced entry, 3 car deer accidents, 3 conservation complaints, 2 damage to property, 1 false alarm, 1 family other, 36 general patrol, 10 general assistance, 1 health and safety violation, 4 intimidation or stalking, 1 juvenile delinquent, 1 power line down, 3 larcenies, 8 marine complaints, 2 motorist assist, 1 aggravated assault, 1 ORV with personal injury accident, 10 obstructing justice, 5 ORV complaints, 114 property checks, 2 violations of the public peace, 1 stolen property, 2 suicide, 6 suspicious persons, 32 traffic patrol, 1 traffic accident, 44 traffic stops, 2 traffic violations, 1 valve alarm activation, 3 vehicle or object in the road hazard, 1 violation of a controlled substance, 2 weapons offense, 1 weapons offense explosives. So again, that was 332. The county as a whole had 3,519 complaints for the month of June. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Okay. In looking, talking with the deputies at the neighborhood watch meeting, the biggest complaints or the biggest problems, I guess, over July 4th weekend were ORVs. So people are getting a little abusive and a little lackadaisical about how they run them. The 2 biggest complaints were people going, well, 3 biggest complaints, people going too fast, people that are supposed to be riding with helmets and aren't, and then ORVs, particularly golf carts, being overloaded with people. So we'll probably be seeing some tickets out of that. Okay, zoning administrator. Oh, building report, sorry, building administrator. Okay, we had Wayne Newton, a new roof on Bungo Trail, Wayne Harrington, roof construction, George Stinger on Hemlock, a new deck, Al Schultz, right over here on Ringgold, a modular, Ken Crawford, new roof on Forest, Ken Crawford's siding and windows on Forest, Diane Stock, new roof on South Street. And inspections were new construction on Judy Trail, a deck on Hemlock, the Ken Crawford one, the roofing on Forest, and roofing on South Street, and roof construction on Ringgold. And Warner had 45.9 miles this month. Okay, zoning administrator's report. Had applications for 6 structures, 1 fence, 1 deck, and 1 roof repair. Approved applications for the same. Had none that were not approved or denied. Ordinance complaints. Had 2 ordinance 32 violations, nuisance and blight. 1 fence on a neighbor's property, and there's nothing that we can do about that because it's not up to the township to know where people's property lines are. So you might, if any of you are thinking of building or putting up a fence or anything like that, remember, it's your responsibility to know where your property lines are. And we had a fence over 6 feet, and after research, we found out that it had been approved by court order. And then we had ordinance 38, lake dock and boat violation of the 12-foot setback from the lot line. And Lakes Commission. Whoop. Why did I put me down? I don't know. I know why. That was from the May agenda, and you weren't here. Go ahead.
Healing will be on Lake George sometime this week. Last week I received a complaint of algae on Shingle Lake. Called TLM, and the next day they were out there treating it. Do a great job. And Silver Lake now has a buoy permit, goes until 2018. Senate Bill 680 was passed recently to stop county road commissions from allowing people to put docks on road ends. Only the township will be allowed to do that now.
Township, village, or city, but we don't have one of those, so, yeah.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, that does it for committee reports. Any questions about committee reports? Okay, we have no old business, so dive right into new business. We have as you all know, you've seen it, we have a Kubota tractor, and the Kubota tractor came with a backhoe attachment, which we thought we might use at the time, and we've never used it. And so we're thinking about trading that back in and putting some money together for an RTV. Dale, why don't you explain what the plan is?
Well, basically what we want to do is we wanted to better utilize the taxpayers' dollars. We're really not going to get any use out of that backhoe. in the cemetery nor anything that we do as far as the township. It's gonna sit there and collect rust. So what I thought I'd do is go in and see what we could get on trade for an RTD, and what we would do is split that use between the fire department and wildland fires, and getting to locations and plowing the sidewalks and stuff like that for the township. So we'd actually split the use of that unit.
And the numbers?
They're looking at, they want to give us $3,500, which is a good price for trade-in for that backhoe. And then we look at $6,000 difference, so we'd split, we'd take $3,000 out of the fire fund and $3,000 out of maintenance.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we make that purchase.
Support.
Any other comments, questions? Okay,
Just
all in
explain,
favor?
just explain that to me, wait a minute. Was that Jerry Bridges? So 35 on trade,
Plus 6,000 split between maintenance and fire department.
so it's 9,500 all total for the RTV.
Right. Okay.
And where is this transfer, where is this RTV coming from?
Capital?
Capital equipment in Claire.
Did we pay the whole bill for the actual, that came out of maintenance, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but that cost is split between the fire department here.
The backhoe was
Utilized-
originally
well,
split between
tractor.
The whole thing was originally split.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have some playground equipment. It's been out for bids for a little over a month now, right?
About that, 3 weeks anyway.
3 bids here, so we'll... First bid looks like it's from Joe Johnston. Bid for $100 for the slide. I know what he's gonna do with that, he's gonna put that in his condo bag. Next bid is from Dee Dee Johnson. Bid for $100 for the small slide. And the final bid is for what's left of the bleachers. Now, you've got this written 75/3, so 75 times 3
For
or
all three.
$75 for the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, from Dale Majeski. Okay. And my impression or my understanding is that you're gonna donate them to
Yeah.
Farwell to
They're
the
going to Farwell High School. Yeah.
Farwell High
To
School.
be used in the Rocket football field or the season.
Okay, well, let's take them one at a time, because it's, even though we have 3 bids, they're actually solo bids, okay? So we have a bid for $100 for the small slide from Dee Dee Johnson. I'll make that motion.
Are there 2 different slides?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So we don't have a duplicate bid on any one item?
No.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have a bid for $100 from Joe Johnson on the large slide, and that's my motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And a bid for the bleachers, what's left of them, for $75 from Dale Majeski. And that's my motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Done.
I apologize, I didn't catch the second on the last one. Was that Jerry?
It was Jerry. He
Yeah.
beat me.
There's your bids.
Thank you.
If you want to have a look. Okay, next item. Those of you, most of you that are here tonight come at every meeting. So you know that we've had an ongoing thing with the Shunk conditional rezoning case, and we're finally getting that to wrap up. And without reading a 2-page letter, let me tell you what happens. As part of the rezoning agreement, the Shunks agreed to pay for the township's attorney fees, the attorney fees that we had involved in that, all right? Now, They have submitted, their attorney has told our attorney a tentative $500 for attorney fees. And that sounds good. At the moment, we're not quite sure, there's $185 out there. We're not quite sure if that's included in the 500 or if it's in addition to the 500. So it's either going to be 500 or 685. And we wanted to get that in the minutes tonight. We don't need to act on that, right? Because we don't know yet.
I'm gonna try to talk to Dave in the morning.
Okay.
He would, let me think. Do you want to move that we, if it includes the 185, to go with the 500? And if it doesn't include the 185 in question, then we ask
685.
for 685.
I'll second that.
Okay?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Last item of new business that I have is, we have, from a couple years ago, we have a committee that was looking into preserving, maintaining, or helping out with maintenance at Hamlin Field and promoting some events. A couple of them are here tonight. And now they are actually going to form formally a committee. So we have a resolution, 071414-A, a resolution to recognize the Hamlin Field Recreation Committee. It's brief, I'll read it. Whereas a group of local citizens board requested the Lincoln Township and Clark County Board of Trustees to assume some responsibilities in Hamlin Field, and whereas this group of citizens residents calls itself the Hamlin Field Recreation Committee and requests recognition of the group, and whereas the Hamlin Field Recreation Committee intends to share responsibilities in the preservation and maintenance of Hamlin Field, in addition will seek to promote recreational use and events held on Hamlin Field. Be it therefore resolved, the Lincoln Township Board of Trustees hereby recognizes the existence of the Hamlin Field Recreation Committee in Lincoln Township, and they have submitted a set of bylaws. So that's my motion.
I second it.
I don't know what it means. Requested that the Lincoln Township Board of Trustees to assume some responsibilities at Hamlin Field. What?
Well, they've already done the sign and done some mowing and stuff, so.
I'm reading this that the board is being requested to assume responsibilities
We're at.
under the first whereas. And requested the Lincoln Township Board of Trustees to assume some responsibilities at Hamlin
Well,
Field.
that was meant that they're to assume some
Okay,
responsibilities.
well,
yeah.
with that,
Yeah,
that they will assume,
some, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
So anyway, that's my motion, and Jerry seconded it.
With the inclusion of they will assume some responsibilities at Hamlin.
Right. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, I do have a pretty quick one.
I knew you did.
Okay, put on the wall, on the Lake York, boat parade, was it successful enough to continue next year?
Yes, it was. We had 21 boats. So that's the most boats we had since 2012. So it was very successful. County was in charge of that. Did a great job, and we are planning on doing it next year.
How many boats you have, Ralph?
21.
Awesome.
Who won first place?
Hamilton's.
Which
Kim
boat was?
Hamilton's kids decorated his boat. It was Disney.
Okay,
Yeah. So.
the princesses?
And, so far this year, have we had a safe, water activity summer?
A water,
A safe water activity summer so far, have we had?
as far as I know.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I've been asked by another party resident about this question, which is that
it's only one easement and it's not public.
Well, we have private parks,
Yes.
well worded. The question, if one wishes to, whom do they contact if there is somebody in violation of the correct use?
Roger.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a real easy fix, because on the private parks, of which there's 3 that I know of, everybody in that subdivision that that park is dedicated to has to agree to whatever that proposed use is. And if one person objects, it's done, it's over. There's no majority, no democracy. It's that park belongs to the people in that subdivision, every one of them.
Makes sense. Thank you. That's it.
And any other public comment? Yes.
Are the gates at Shingle Lake Park closed at 10 o'clock?
No?
Does that sometimes present a problem? And I'm thinking that there are people and you have issues at Shingle Lake Park after 10.
I personally have not. I know other people have found some and they're just asking to leave, but I personally haven't found anyone in there after hours.
Which is, okay, it's a county park though, isn't it?
No, it's our park, it's our park.
It is. It's not a county park.
No. We have no county parks.
If our curfew for kids is 10 o'clock, doesn't it make sense to have that gate closed at 10?
Not to me,
Okay, and why would that be?
because if you got piss poor parents that are letting their kids run out, that's the problem,
I agree, yeah, that's true.
okay?
But if the gate were closed,
They just have to fence, Cindy. I mean, we can close it if it'll make, I mean, we have done that. The deputies used to lock it up.
that's what I thought.
They haven't in a long while. It didn't seem to be making any difference as far as vandalism and kids being in the park at night. When the park gate is locked, the deputy can't drive through the park and shine the lights around. Then the kids are hiding behind the bushes and underneath stuff. And the deputy's got to get out, walk the park. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
And there
It's
are
just-
people that fish at night, which is a perfectly legitimate use for using the
Yeah.
park, using the ramp.
So, I mean, we can go back to trying it, but it didn't prove to be
It
terribly
wasn't-
beneficial.
it wasn't beneficial. Just trying to think about. Especially thinking of the homeless issue, trying to support the improvements at Shingle Lake Park, and just to have them ripped apart is a little frustrating. But,
Tell me
everybody.
about it.
To everyone, yeah, it was a thought.
Dale?
There is a process, and there is a curfew, and there is a process for the deputy to follow, and that's if they don't take the hint the first time, the parents are notified, and the parents, I believe, can be ticketed.
Correct.
So, it's,
And
there is a process.
each subsequent violation, the penalties become more and more.
Yeah.
Roger?
We also have a park ordinance.
Pardon?
We also have a park ordinance.
Yes, we do. Covers dogs, alcohol.
When people can be in there.
We also have an ordinance about underage curfew, so.
And right along with that, swimming areas. I know last year we talked about boys out there so that the kids knew where the swimming area was. They're not there.
They are on Silver Lake, but Shingle Lake hasn't hasn't asked for any help or any assistance or anything.
Well, that was last year. Go find those notes. Because they were looking for it. That lake is, somebody's gonna probably drown.
Do you know where the buoys are for Shingle
No.
Lake? Just asking, because they
I
used to
just,
be,
I
Jim
took
Smith
a
had them for a
toot.
while.
Yeah, I took a toot around that lake. I really don't know it that well. And all of these things about the park looks good from the lakeside. I noticed the extra sand and the fishing dock and how people get in and out. But there is not a designated swimming area. And
yeah, I'm confused. How is that gonna make somebody drown?
Because the kids try to swim across the lake.
Well, buoys aren't gonna stop them from
Buoys
doing
aren't gonna stop
that.
from doing that.
The buoy might keep the boats off
I
the
think we
beach.
just ought to shoot the kids. I'm getting to that point. Because,
Well,
you know,
a
you're
buoy's
trying to
not,
protect-
I know, but a buoy's not gonna stop them from trying to swim across the
Yeah.
lake.
Buoy alerts boaters that they can't go there.
I was hoping that children, like I do for the grandchildren, section off, this is where you swim, this is the safe area.
We have,
Control again.
we have 7 or 8 buoys somewhere. We think that Kim Smith was probably the last one to pull them out, and they're between $75 and $85 a piece. So if we find them, we could get another permit. The permits are now issued, they used to be issued for 1 year at a time, and you had to apply every year. Now they're issued for 3 or 4 years at a time, maybe 5.
That's a 3 to 5.
3 to 5, yeah, okay.
Probably wouldn't help to put up a sign that the kids stay within your designated area. That would help with it.
Well,
Fortunately, Shingle Lake's not quite as high traffic as Lake George's or Silver Lake.
You really can't close off swimming
yeah.
public lake. They can swim anywhere they want.
I don't want to close it off, I just want to
No.
make sure that boaters aren't getting them and they're not trying to overdo themselves swimming across the lake.
Okay, any other public comment?
Roger's got it.
Roger?
Last I heard Kim said that was, they took them out and just kept running over the pontoon and driving them across the lake. And
Right.
Kids would play on them and they'd bounce away. Yeah.
These last one I heard that.
That's
Any-
who I heard, Adam.
Any other public? Ralph?
Just wondering what the township thought about how well the fireworks, new fireworks ordinance working.
Is it working?
This
Yeah,
weekend,
that's working about as good as the paper it's written on.
My impression of the legal days, which would have been the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, was that people were pretty good. In fact, they shut it off early. I think our ordinance, because of the size, the population of our township, allows for fireworks to be set off until 1 o'clock in the morning. But most people shut it off around 11:30 or so, and there was the occasional after that.
There was
Yes.
an awful lot last night.
Yeah, and last night was one day outside of the limit. I think maybe
But
they
it was
count
outside
bad,
of the limit.
doing some bad math.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, sir, but I believe the fireworks ordinance for the 4th of July permits 7 days prior to
Yes.
the day of and 7 days after.
Okay.
So,
So I'm not sure where Sunday fell in
Yeah.
there.
up until the 11th, they were still allowed to. Now they're no
Right.
longer allowed.
But I thought people had been pretty good about shutting it off at the 1 o'clock time. Now, that's not to say that I can't fall asleep and not hear other stuff, but
Well, last night was terrible.
Yeah.
There was a lot last
And I don't understand,
I did too.
I know last year these guys were from Ohio. I was sending back to Columbus where
I
they
don't
belong.
think it's Ohio. This was a backlot somewhere.
okay, is there any other public comment? Yeah.
I think the root of the problem is education. I think there's people on that lake that don't know there's a
Absolutely.
ordinance. They don't know.
There was a notice in their tax bill.
Yeah.
So anybody getting a tax bill, it's explained to them.
I think it did some good. I mean, I heard our next door neighbors, you know, when they had their crowd up, overheard them talking, oh, we can't put the lanterns out? No, you can't do the lanterns this year. So they didn't shoot off the Chinese lanterns, so it did that. I mean, there's no way a piece of paper is gonna stop anyone from doing it, but at least it gives law enforcement some teeth. If someone's being very abusive and you call and tell them,
Why do we give them 2 weeks? Do 2 weeks around every major holiday?
no,
That's
it's
a
on
law.
4th of July.
Just 4th of July.
4th of July, 2 weeks is insane.
But that's not our rule, that's the state law, and I think we have to.
No,
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 state
that's-
law
State law is
State
1
law.
day before, 1 day after.
Then why are we 2 weeks?
That's what the
Well,
old ordinance had in it. That's
Right.
what the planning
At
commission
the time,
decided
the planning
on.
commission recognized that we have a lot of people that come up to vacation, and this year was a classic example, the week before the 4th and the week after the 4th.
Okay.
And
And not knowing where the 4th is gonna fall, if it's gonna fall on a
Yeah.
Wednesday, then they might be here this weekend, or they might be here this
If
weekend.
they're not here, they can shoot their fireworks off at home. They don't have to shoot them off here at all then. You know, shoot them off, give them a day before, the day after. That's what most of the state does.
Okay, is there any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn and we'll go into our elections board meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'll call together the elections board. We have 8 appointments. They include, and this is my motion, Judy Falkowski, Deb Sherrod, Nancy House, Tina Van Dyke, Cheryl Judd, Pat Lambert, Roger Carey, and Deb Briggs. You're going to spend a whole day from 7 in the morning till late at night with 8 women.
Roger.
What?
That was funny.
I was hustling soon.
Okay. That's 2
Apparently,
hours.
he's
Anyway,
gonna
that's my
spend a
motion.
lot of time.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
you.
carried. I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? You can. You're not part of the meeting.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know you could catch that.